Hello and welcome to Week of Weird, where I look at the weirdest news stories from the past week. It's been a bit of a slow week for strange news stories. I've also included a couple of news stories from the week before that I missed due to having to rush to record last week's episode. So let's begin. Okay, this one was sent to me by Benjamin on Facebook. Thank you very much, Benjamin. It's actually not from a news site, it's from the website I Fucking Love Science, but it's pretty good, so let's have a look. People are freaking out at this apparent time traveller filmed at a Mike Tyson boxing match in the 90s. The boxing match took place between Mike Tyson and Peter McNeely in Las Vegas on August 19th, 1995. In the grainy background, people have pointed out a man in the audience who looks like he's filming a match on a smartphone. Of course, camera phones weren't commercially available until 2000. Even then, the earliest camera phones were pretty clunky. Not like the slimline tablet smartphones that are popular today. There's a video.
In this video we see a clip of the match between Mike Tyson and McNeely in 1995 in Las Vegas.
Let's just skip ahead here a bit.
Video, so you can take a look yourself. Is that in the background?
There we go, pause. We'll see that. Yeah, it does look like a smartphone, doesn't it? Or a camera of some kind.
We see someone holding something that looks a little out of place for the time period. Now bear in mind this is 1995. The sort of digital age is only just starting to get going.
Weird. I'm not going to play the whole video because it's someone else's YouTube video. You can go and check that out for yourself, and as always I put a link in the description. But that's very interesting. Definitely looks like a smartphone. The article's not very long. Apparently, as they point out in the video, by all things creepy, there are some models of camcorders at the time that could easily be confused with a smartphone. It could be. I'd prefer to think that that's a time traveller from the future coming back to film a Mike Tyson match on his smartphone. You'd think if a time traveller went all that way, you'd at least go to the effort of recording it in landscape instead of the cardinal sin of holding it in portrait when recording. Someone in the comments said that it's a radar gun used to verify strike speed. No, it's a time traveller. Anyway, that's the end of that article. It's quite a short one, as I said. Have a look at the next one. Okay, one of the slim pickings from the Sun this week. 80 school kids rushed to hospital after outbreak of demonic possession as pupils say they had visions of a man in black trying to kill them. The school said it had been built on the site of a mafia graveyard. And there's some pictures of school children screaming, and so on. 80 school kids have been rushed to hospital in Peru following what teachers described as a mass outbreak of demonic possession. They were aged between 11 and 14. They had seizures and claimed to see visions of a man in black trying to kill them. While experts have struggled to explain the phenomena, locals are convinced that it is related to the fact the school was built on the site of a graveyard where numerous mafia gangsters were buried. Shocking video footage filmed at the school shows pupils screaming their lungs out as they lie barely conscious on the floor or in their teacher's arms. A pupil not named in local media described their experience. They said, "It's disturbing for me to think about it. It's as if someone kept on chasing me from behind. It was a tall man dressed in black with a big beard, so it was a hipster then, and it felt like he was trying to strangle me. My friends say I was screaming desperately, but I don't remember much." So Frank Steiner, a parapsychologist who investigates paranormal and psychic phenomena, said, "It is known that years ago there were many victims of terrorism here. When this school was built, some say bones and dead bodies were found. Locals believe this is a case of demonic interference, saying some children must have evoked evil spirits using a Ouija board." Tim Sandham in the comments says it was all a big swizz to get out of school and it worked. Well done. Could be. I quite like the magazine 14 Times, and they regularly have reports of mass hysteria and mass possession breaking out in schools. Seems to be quite a regular occurrence around the world, this kind of thing. Well, anyway, that was the latest one. If you watch my Shadow People video, you'll see another example of a similar thing happening recently. Okay, on to the next one. Another one from the Sun. Is this the ghost of a French queen walking the halls of a castle in Norfolk? A spooky figure believed to be Queen Isabella, known as the She-Wolf of France, has been caught on camera by ghost hunters in the ruins of an English castle. The haunting image was snapped at a ruined medieval castle rising in Norfolk, where the Queen spent much of her time during the last 30 years of her life, in the mid-1300s. Paranormal investigator Andy, leader of the Essex ghost hunting team, said he heard sounds of a long dress swishing along the stairs outside the room moments before the picture was taken. And here it is. Let's have a look. Yeah, I guess so. You can kind of see something here. I guess you could see that as the outline of a dress, a long sweeping dress, and maybe a head. Could be. He snapped the image in the White Room, one of the upper chambers thought to be haunted by the Queen, who is the wife of Edward II. It shows the shadowy figure of a woman and a dog-like shape at her feet. I suppose, yeah, there could be a dog there, 2 ears, and a face. Could be. You know what that looks like to me? You ever seen that Basement Jaxx video, Where's Your Head At, where they've got like human faces on a monkey and he's playing the records? Looks just like that. Andy, who didn't reveal his surname, said the team even heard the sound of a wolf howling several times throughout the night, but their voice recorders didn't pick up any sound. So it says, I was in the White Room, which is a lovely room, thought to be where she spent a lot of her time sewing and so on. There are around 7 of us in the room at the time. My friend turned to me and whispered, "Can you hear anything?" So I listened carefully, and it sounded just like the sound of a long dress swishing over the stones coming up the stairway outside. I decided to take a picture to see what I might capture, and then realised that there was what appeared to be a figure stood in the middle of the room. Here's a picture of the castle rising. It's quite ominous and spooky, doesn't it? And then there's a picture of a full spectrum camera. And here's a picture of Andy, the man who took the picture, looking serious there. He looks like he's part of some kind of biker gang as well, with his skull on his leather jacket. That would actually make an amazing TV show, kind of Sons of Anarchy mixed with Ghost Hunters. I would watch that. I've got a picture of Isabella. So I don't know whether that looks anything like the blurry figure captured on camera, but apparently that's what she looked like in life. And then yeah, that's the end of the article. They've got some like history stuff at the bottom, which is kind of interesting. If you want to read that in full, go check out the link in the description as always. I'm going to go on to the next one. We're going on to the Daily Star now, and it's the only story from the Daily Star this week. They have had quite a lot of weird news stories, but it's all been like not very interesting in my opinion. So this is the one that I picked. Prophecy reveals how Antichrist Donald Trump could trigger apocalypse today. Donald Trump could trigger the downfall of mankind today, according to a shock end-of-day prophecy. Now, I said this in my video about Donald Trump. Go check that out on my channel, Donald Trump revealing his satanic secrets. So it says, crackpot conspiracy theorists are convinced that tycoon turned politician is the Antichrist. Oh, it's not nice to call them crackpots. They say he has been chosen to run for office to punish humanity when Judgment Day comes and the world implodes. There's a video, I think there's a few videos on this, so this one's 8 minutes long, there's no way I'm going to play this.
All the spelling of the word, just as you said. I mean, I knew the word Trump was in the Bible, but when I looked it up in Scripture, the only 2 places it's found in the entire Bible, T-R-U-M-P, is in 1 Thessalonians 4:16 and 1 Corinthians 15:52.
So this lady's saying that the word Trump appears twice in the Bible. It appears here in trumpet, and here, whereas again trumpet. That's not much as she has an amazing voice. Yeah, that's, I don't know. I'm sure she has an amazing theory, and if I had 8 minutes to spare, I would sit and watch that video in full. Unfortunately, I don't, so I'm just gonna go with the fact that Trump and trumpet have the same letters in them. I'm not yet convinced, but I'm sure the rest of the video is amazing. Trump is set to unleash his wrath on the unsaved in the rapture of the church when God raises his faithful flock to heaven, and the human race could have just days to repent or face being wiped out in the day of reckoning, expected to arrive in May 2016. I mean, I don't know, I've lived through the millennium. The world was supposed to end then as well. It hasn't yet ended. Here's another video. Let's see. Oh god, it's loud. How long? This video's nearly 8 minutes long. Oh, this guy looks like he's got it figured out though. This looks like some deep stuff right here. Anyway, like I say, you can go watch these videos yourself. I'm not going to sit and watch them. I'm just going to read the article. As it says, of course, this is not the first time believers have insisted life as we know it will grind to an abrupt halt. Biblical prophecy examiner Paula Garrett revealed how the rapture is foretold in the book of Matthew, which warns of a war, famine, and nations rising against each other. Paula wrote in her blog, "Earthquakes are becoming stronger and more frequent. The war in Syria is becoming a worldwide war, bringing many nations into the battle. There have even been threats of nuclear strikes by nations such as North Korea and Russia," and so on. It is apparent that all the things that Jesus said would happen before the rapture are happening right now. Meanwhile, Trump, who steamrolled his rivals to become the Republican frontrunner, has actually been linked to the end in the Bible apparently. Eagle-eyed followers who trawled the good book for clues discovered a string of references to Trump. And again, yeah, it's just the same things. Trumpet, apparently that's... Apocalyptic visions in the book of Revelation imagine the rapture will happen when the last trumpet is sounded. But seeing though Trump, at least in England, the word Trump is also slang for farting, so if you read that as the rapture will happen when the last trump is sounded, it has multiple meanings. That's all I can say about that. And a passage in Thessalonians describes how God will descend from heaven with the trump of God and the dead in Christ shall rise first. Sound far-fetched? It would appear even Hollywood actress Jennifer Lawrence is convinced. J-Lo reportedly said in an interview, "My view on the election is pretty cut and dried. If Donald Trump is president of the United States, it'll be the end of the world." There's some tweets from people here. Donald Trump gets elected president, Armageddon, rapture, zombies rule the earth. I think that is how it's going to happen. But it could be worse. Hillary Clinton could get elected. Anyway, let's go on to the next story. That was fascinating. Alright, this one is from the good old Asian correspondent. Once again, it doesn't disappoint. Chinese embassy in Zambia denies reports of exporting canned human meat to Africa. And I'm guessing that's not a real picture of canned human meat, but the Chinese embassy in Zambia has been forced to dismiss reports by local media claiming that China has been feeding Africa with human meat. China's ambassador to Zambia, Yang Yoming, issued a strongly worded statement calling the reports malicious slandering. So apparently a local newspaper, Kachepa, reported the story. I'm going to have to check that out. That might be a good source for future weird news stories if they have an online site. According to Chinese newspaper CRJ Media English, the source was a Zambian woman living in China who claimed that beef companies in the country were collecting human corpses and turning them into corned beef to send to Africa. Oh, she's got pictures though. There's a picture of a human and then there's a picture of a can of tuna. Immediately goes against what she's saying. I mean, she says here corned beef is made from dead bodies, and then she shows a picture of a can of tuna. Immediately that makes me doubt what she has to say. But Snopes got in, a good old Snopes, and they said the grisly looking pictures are actually from a 2012 marketing stunt for a popular horror video game, Resident Evil 6. Unless they used those pictures in Resident Evil 6 so that if the scandal ever got revealed, they could just go, no, it's just from a promotional photos for a video game. See, you've always got to stay one step ahead. Zambia's Deputy Defence Minister, Christopher Malenga, has said the government of Zambia regrets the incident in view of the warm relations that exist between Zambia and China. We will make sure that the relevant government authorities will take up the investigations and give a comprehensive statement. And that's the end of that story. Kind of interesting. I don't know. What do you think? Are China really canning up human beings and sending them to Africa? I wouldn't put it past them, to be honest. The UK government have secretly been feeding us horses for years. Alright, all the last stories are from the Mirror. Okay, this is just a silly one really, but bizarre video of pensioner spotted taking 4-foot penis for a stroll around city centre in a trolley. So it's another one of them dashcam captures. It used to be that we only saw weird stuff captured on dashcams from Russia, but since other countries have been getting in on the act and putting dash cams on their cars, we're seeing more and more from places outside of Russia, and the UK has been a good source for such things recently. There was the dog driving a car caught on camera in last week's episode, and this week we've got this, so let's have a look. And there she goes. What the... The thing is, it looks like she doesn't realise what she's pushing there. I mean, she must know, but like, just look at these two old ladies. Do they look like the types who'd be pushing something like that around? I mean, they'd at least deflate it. Oh god, I don't know. You know, I can't imagine the sequence of events that happened prior to this for this situation to occur. I mean, in my head, what I'm imagining is that she saw this inflatable toy. I thought, I'd take that home for the grandkids. They'll love that. Thinking with her bad eyesight that it was some kind of inflatable clown or something. She's going to take that home for the kids. And then mum and dad are going to come home, see their kids playing with a giant penis. And then who knows what will happen after that. Okay, the hilarious video shows a 70-year-old woman taking an inflatable penis for a walk around in a shopping trolley. How do they know she was 70? Did they actually track this woman down? It was captured by motorist Paul Williamson on a dash cam. Okay, so here we go. Hundreds have commented on the video, but one woman claims to know who the pensioner is. It's Carol Quick. She wrote, she bought it in Hollywood fancy dress for her 70th birthday party. Just goes to show that you're never too old for a laugh and some fun. And like she said, you only live once. She's from Perth and was just there for the day. Why shouldn't she have a laugh? I don't know. From Perth, well, that explains it then. That's the story. It's amazing. I always find it amazing how newspapers can make an entire article from a, what is that, 22-second clip of an old granny pushing a trolley across a road. Amazing. Anyway, let's go on to the next one. Okay, alien hunters spot mysterious extraterrestrial markings in Google Maps images of seabed. Oh, it's another one of them Google Maps videos. I wonder if it's the same people. Yeah, it's another one from Secure Team 10. They always have Secure Team 10 videos on these news articles. I guess they're really good at finding weird stuff. Apparently this is on the ocean bed.
And an obvious path or trail created by this object. Look at this thing zigzagging. Look at this thing moving. And we can follow this thing down, all the way down here, continues here, and goes into this blurred out area. How convenient. So we'll follow this track back up. And it zigzags, and now this is very peculiar, and you're going to see why here in a second, because honestly I don't know how this was created. So we have this zigzag pattern carved completely out of the bottom of the ocean soil, and it leads up directly to this almost perfectly circular object. I mean, look at that. It's a perfect spherical or saucer shaped
look at it. That is definitely a UFO. Now, I'm going to circle around it with my mouse pointer as well.
Is that when we measure this thing, which we'll do now, this object is over 2 miles in length, in diameter.
Wow, 2 miles in length.
You can see it right here. We use the measuring tool, and
that is pretty cool. Because I thought when he was showing that, it was just like a stone that might have been pushed along the seabed. But if that's 2 miles across, and it's been moved across like this, that is pretty impressive, whatever the hell that is. But anyway, I'm not going to watch the entire video, as I've said about 70 million times in this video already. They believe it could be the result of alien activity. So there's some pictures of it being measured. It says, we have found some very strange lines that almost look like a large vehicle moved across the bottom of the ocean. I mean, if that's 2 miles across, that if the vehicle was this wide, would be that 4 or 5 miles across? That's crazy talk. So some viewers have said that they're sonar lines created by boats scanning the ocean floor. And that's, I don't have, again, another short article with not much to say. But definitely interested in this, given the size of this object here. So someone in the comments says it looks like a large oval rock that's sliding about in a current, like the rocks on the NASCAR plains. Which I've seen them, yeah, but the rocks aren't 2 miles across. Really, that adds a strange dimension to that story, the size of the rock, if that really is the size of it. On to the next one. This nightmarish photobomb may put you off taking a photo for the rest of your life. Can you see why? And then there's a stock photo. That's not the photobomb picture, don't worry, that's just a stock photo. Nothing gets people either completely unnerved or more skeptical than ghostly, spooky and downright creepy apparitions appearing in photos. The latest one doing the rounds is no different. At first glance it's just a keen amateur photographer playing on a camera phone. Alone and undisturbed, but on closer inspection it's not quite right. The image was uploaded to Reddit by user Boy Under Mushrooms with the question, please tell me this is your shy daughter. And yeah, I don't know if you can see that. There's the woman taking the picture. And then right behind her, what the hell is that? You can see the sliver of a face peeking out from behind the photographer, albeit not a very pleasant and welcoming looking one. It says, whatever it is, we'll probably never know. Though if you wanted to, you could err on the side of caution and assume it's just a case of double exposure. I don't know, double exposure, I don't think, that doesn't look like double exposure to me. It could well just be someone standing behind her. I don't know, double exposure, I'm sure you'd see something like, you'd see a bit of the face in there or a bit of the background going into that head or something like that. So there's a poll, anyway, this is why I wanted to do the poll. There's been 500 votes so far. What is lurking behind the lady taking the photo? A demon from the netherworld, 100%, or nothing, it's just a double exposure. It's definitely not double exposure, so the only other option is a demon from the netherworld. So obviously it must be that. Nope, only 45% believe that it's a demon from the netherworld. 55% of idiots believe that it was double exposure. Obviously it's not, stupid people. And Ian Renshaw in the comments says, it's sliver, not slither. That's what snakes do. Who copy proofs the Mirror's online output? Yeah, I think that, I don't know if it was the Mirror last week, there was a really bad error in the subtitle of one of the articles. The one about the crying statue of Mary or whatever it was. Now we're going on to the last story now, it's another Mirror one. Okay, alright, so the final story. Mystery werewolf creature terrifying families in Hull sparks major hunt. And I've met Major Hunt, and let me tell you, when they get him involved, then you know it's serious. The 8-foot beast is said to have the upper body of a man and feasts on dogs, according to witnesses. Something with the upper body of a man and what? Is that all? It's just got the upper body of a man. That's just a man, isn't it? Okay, and there's a picture. I don't think that's a photograph of the beast itself. It's just another stock photograph. So let you know what a wolf looks like. Residents of Hull have reported several sightings of a mystery werewolf, which has terrified locals and sparked a hunt for the creature. Reports suggest the 8-foot beast is a half-man, half-creature and lurks around industrial estates and has allegedly been spotted eating a dog. Some believe it is an old folklore legend called Old Stinker, a wolf that transforms into a man at the full moon. Old Stinker is traditionally known to wander the Yorkshire wolds. The new sightings of the mystery being were reported at an old water channel called the Barmston Drain. One woman claims to have seen the beast stand on its hind legs in a terrifying incident which left her shaking. So apparently it was spotted in this area, Barmston Drain. She said it was stood upright one moment. Next it was down on all fours running like a dog. I was terrified. It bounded along on all fours, then stopped and reared up on its back legs before running down the embankment towards the water. It vaulted 30 feet over to the other side and vanished up the embankment and over a wall into some allotments. Another couple saw something tall and hairy eating a German Shepherd dog by the side of the train. Apparently they stopped to get a closer look at it. Yeah, they saw something tall and hairy eating a German Shepherd and they thought, yeah, let's get closer to this thing. It jumped up over an 8-foot fence, vanishing into the night. It's still clutching its prey in its jaws. Another woman was walking a dog along the drain and she saw something half man, half dog in the distance. So apparently locals are now waiting for a full moon to mount a werewolf hunt with cameras and recording equipment, and I imagine pitchforks, flaming sticks as well. So Mike Covell, an expert in the supernatural and Hull resident, said, I was skeptical at first, but then more and more people contacted me saying they'd seen the same thing. So a Norfolk-based barrister and author, Charlie Christian, who researched the legend for his book, A Travel Guide to Yorkshire's Weird Wolds, said the sightings went back for centuries. The most recent was in the 1960s, when a lorry driver claimed Old Stinker tried to smash its way into his cab as he drove through the haunted triangle. So, by their very nature, old industrial areas offer plenty of places to hide, and if there is something like this, it will know its way around. It would be the perfect habitat for a predator. Well, a predator that hunted humans, yeah. Do you believe that werewolves exist? Well, obviously yes, there's a picture of one right there. Again, the skeptics are out in force again. 61% think that there's no werewolves, despite this obvious photograph of one right here above it. Anyway, that's the end of this week's stories. I hope you enjoyed the stories this week. If you find any new stories that you think would be good for this series, just send me a link, either on Twitter, Facebook, or just leave a comment down below. More weird news stories next week. Until then, thank you for watching, and goodbye.